Last time on Pole House Black Pot's Weekend Getaway, we went to Arrow Rock State Historic Site, toured the town of Arrow Rock and had a little history lesson, fixed easy sourdough, which we had for several meals this weekend. Started our day off with a walk at Arrow Rock.
Before we get started too far, we stopped off at a quick little stop at the Big Soldier Lake, which is named after a chief of the Osage Nation. So it's pretty nice. A lot of people come out here to go fishing. I don't think there's anybody here right now, but I'm kind of surprised they're on a Sunday afternoon.
Sunny Sunday afternoon, they ain't out here fishing.
A little breezy. I don't know, might be detour from some of the fishing, but pretty nice lake. Not real big, but still pretty.
Trail.
You can kind of use it as stair steps. Yeah.
Well, phew,
We made it back.
we did.
That was a nice little,
That first little
Hike.
part of that trail, what was that? The Fleche?
yeah, Pierre Fleche, the one that's a big circle loop.
That was a little rough, and it was slick from rain that we had last week.
Part of it more like a little stream that did the trail
parts.
from here down toward Arrow Rock. It's kind of
I
a
kind of fell
downhill there.
at the very end of it. Didn't hurt myself, but got my pants kind of muddy.
Yeah. And then the easiest trail, which was down to the river, was the Lewis
Yeah.
and Clark Discovery Trail.
But the trail before it was a little up and down hilly. What was that called?
Well, the one from kind of
The road
the
to
road down to the
Discovery
original
Trail.
landing to the Discovery Trail was the Arrow Rock Landing Trail. And it was pretty good. It was like downhill, of course, because we're coming from part of the bluff land down to where the original river
I
was
guess.
in the early 1800s.
That's where they used to bring the goods from the Missouri River
Yeah.
up to
They kind of
Arrow
established,
Rock.
they kind of built that road and then set it aside with easements to make sure that it stayed as a thoroughfare from that river edge up to the town.
One
of
thing
Arrow
I
Rock.
noticed that was kind of interesting was that it said that when the Civil War broke out,
Uh-huh.
that Arrow Rock was for the South.
Well, they said Saline County, which is the county we're in, was 36%
38%
or something like that.
African American.
Well, basically they were slaves at the
Yeah,
day.
the African American.
Yeah, most of
Being
them
politically correct now.
Yes, but in that time they were enslaved, and it was So of course a big part of the community was for the Confederacy.
I know Missouri as a whole was kind of split down the middle. You talk about the brother fighting the brother. A lot of Missourians did that.
And it was still, so it kind of became a travel through area for the Union after.
Yeah, it did.
The Union kind of took it over in the early part of the
They
Civil
burnt
War.
something down. What was it they burnt down when they came through here?
One of the riverboats.
Several of the riverboats.
Several of the
That was
riverboats that
it.
were kind of, they thought were for
very
the
interesting.
Confederacy, I guess. And then, so yeah, because the river was still right there
The
close
trails
to the Arrow Rock.
have
that
these
day.
placards that tell you a lot of stuff about them, like
history.
human interaction with the way the river is now. I didn't realize
How much, yeah.
how much. And
we affected not just nature with flooding.
Lewis
but
and Clark come through here too. That was the other part that was interesting.
Mhm.
And they said they didn't see any bison until what, 2 weeks before?
a little
No,
bit before
2 days before they came to Arrow Rock.
this area.
And they didn't shoot their first bison until 2 weeks after
And they
they've been
probably
to Arrow
didn't,
Rock.
2 weeks or 2 months, something like that.
2
and
months,
they probably
yes, 2
didn't do
months.
that because they probably didn't need the meat.
Well, they didn't want
They-
to carry it around.
Yeah, and they waited
so
until they actually needed the meat and that much meat before they probably.
It was a very informative trail.
It was a nice trail and a lot of fun. Beautiful day to be out on, even though.
It was.
And
when we got to the river, it got kind of windy and cold. Man,
Yeah, we
the
come out
temperature
from the
dropped
trees.
like 20 degrees.
Yeah, we were
It
in
was
the
like,
trees back in the bottoms, protected by the wind. You could hear the wind more the closer we got to the river. And the river was really choppy out there today. It's pretty high too from the
And I'm
recent
getting
flooding.
hungry.
Yep, we're gonna cook up something.
The kids don't like it
Yeah,
all.
but we really like it. It's called red beans and rice.
And you got this recipe from Emerald,
Emerald
didn't you?
Lagasse was, and he's famous for a restaurant down in New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
And he does a lot of Cajun Creole cooking, and maybe a little bit different because we're actually using a small batch. The regular batch that we normally make at home, we probably use a 14-inch deep Dutch oven.
And it makes way
Yeah,
too
a
much.
pound of dry. We start with a pound of dry red beans. So we cut it way down. We're gonna use canned beans because we're out camping. Make it real simple and try to make
Yeah.
it closer for just 2 people. So
And we're going to eat some of the sourdough we made yesterday with our meal. So we're going to get to cooking and we'll be right back with you.
all right,
Well, we're almost done here at Arrow Rock State Park, or historic site. It's not
Arrow Rock
actually a
Historic-
state park.
we gotta do one more meal, don't we? Gotta
Yeah.
have supper.
We're having one of my favorite meals.
Red beans and rice.
You're darn tootin'. So he's going to get started at it. So here I go.
Let's see. This is warmed up. Nope, it's not warmed up yet, so we're okay. I'm gonna pull this out of the way for a minute. And got a Dutch oven down over the fire. So we're gonna start with little leftover bacon grease that we had for our breakfast this morning. Gonna put that in our pot. Okay. Now we gotta add the very important Trinity. Trinity is onion, green pepper, and celery. So we put onion in. Okay. And Angel already chopped these up before we,
Yeah, why'd I do that?
because it saves a lot of time out here now. We just open the bags. Celery and green pepper are going in. Very
It
simple.
does save time when
Yeah.
you're out cooking if you have it all
And-
ready.
Whoops. Give that a little stir. Get that cooking. While we're doing that, we got to add a couple of other goody ingredients. Fresh black pepper. We're going to use a little bit of Cajun seasoning. Italian seasoning and some thyme also work really good in this dish. I think that's what the original recipe called for. Give that a stir. Got the Dutch oven down fairly low, so it's directly over the fire, so we have a fairly hot oven. The lower we lower the Dutch oven, which gets it closer to the flames, we'll have more heat. So we want to simmer, we'll just raise the Dutch oven, take it further from the heat. Next thing we need, we're going to add some smoked andouille sausage. Pre-cooked, already diced up by Angel. Let that cook for a couple of minutes.
This is a spicy dish.
Yeah, it's a Cajun or Creole type of cooking, so it's going to have some spice to it. And speaking of that, we got to have some red pepper. That's what gives it some nice spice. Nice sprinkling of red pepper, kind of to taste. All right. Stir this again. Now, this of course, which is your trinity with your onions, celery, and green pepper, is kind of a starting base for lots of different recipes in Creole cooking. Gumbo, jambalaya, and several other ones probably that I can't think of. And of course, red beans and rice all start with the Holy Trinity. Now, another thing that's close to this in other parts of the cuisine that's we're not cooking today, maybe another recipe, is the mirepoix. And you take the green pepper out and put in carrot, and that would be a mirepoix. So that's what we're doing.
Stephen Ranelli uses mirepoix a lot, doesn't he, in his cooking?
Yes, he does.
We like his cooking too. Meat eater.
All right, we'll let that cook. Now, before we get too carried away with the rest of the goodies, we're gonna add some minced garlic.
Now, how come you didn't add it in when you did the peppers and the onions?
Well, we wanted everything to kind of cook a little bit before we put the garlic, because the garlic is easy to burn, and if it gets burnt, it gets a little bit bitter and not so good tasting. So, stir that in. All right, we'll get that cooking a few minutes, and then we're gonna come back and add some more ingredients to this. Okay, this has been cooking for several minutes, cooking good, so now it's time to add the rest of our ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and add, why not, some leftover bacon from breakfast. We kept that bacon grease to kind of get things started. Now we're going to add about 2 cups of water. This calls for chicken stock. So, rather than chicken stock, we're adding water and some chicken base. Okay, add about a good tablespoon or probably 2 tablespoons of chicken base. And we'll give that a quick stir. Okay, now we started with 2 cups of liquid. We may have to add more because we're going to put rice in here in a little bit and it'll kind of soak up some. Also, we're using canned red beans, and we're going to go ahead and leave the juice on. That'll add some more liquid and some good flavor. So we'll get them dumped in.
That way you get your bean flavor.
Some good bean flavor in there, that's right. Alright, that's added. And I think the last thing right now, I believe, Angel, is bay leaf. Oh, we need ham hock.
Oh, I better go get that,
the ham
haven't
hock.
I?
2 bay leaves should be plenty, especially for this size.
We may overdo it with the ham hock. It's over
Well,
my
it's a
head.
little bit overkill, kind of like a tomahawk steak thing or something, but, well, we had ham hock because we had ham, I guess left over from Christmas morning.
Yeah,
we ate
Leslie's
everything
ham.
but the ham hock, so it's kind of a whole big old chunk of a bone-in piece of ham, so it's alright, we're going to add it anyway. We won't eat it all, but we'll get all the goodie off of it and get the flavor out. That's the main thing we're wanting. A little bit of meat off of it, but mainly the flavor. Alright, I think that's it, isn't it, Angel?
Yep, put the lid on it and
All
let's
right.
let it cook.
Lid on. Let it come up to a good hot boil. If it gets a little bit cooking too hot, we'll raise it up, just let it simmer along for a good while. Probably 20-30 minutes before we add the rice.
I'm hungry.
Let's dish it up.
All right.
Spoon for you.
My spoon.
Bowl for
My
you.
bowl?
Bowl for me. Here, I'll scoop it up.
All right, thank you. Don't eat the green leaf.
Bay leaf is not good. Good for seasoning, not good for taste. Or just eating.
Okay.
All for you.
Thank you. That looks good.
You're welcome.
And you know, doing it with the canned beans sure made it a quick, easy meal.
Yeah, it's really good, with a whole big batch. With, of course, the dry beans, but you need to start the beans ahead of time. Let them soak, drain that off, put them in a pot of water without the
And
seasoning. Cook them for a while, because if you put season like the ham hock with
At
salt
least
in it,
what
the
we
beans won't get
think.
done.
The way we've known it, the beans don't get done. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
they
a
stay
certain
a little
what type
crunchy.
it is. And
I think, if you add
So.
salt to the beans before they get done, it seems like they stay a little crunchy in the middle. So we're going to give this a try. It's probably going to, of course, it's still hot, but it's good.
you know what'd be good with this? Some
Sourdough. Yeah.
We made the sourdough yesterday. Boy, I'm ready. Well, that about does it for this weekend getaway. If you liked this video and want to see more, please like, subscribe, and share. And thank you for watching.
Yep. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll pop up this recipe so you can try it on your next camping trip. Thank you for watching.